Hello, all you Wookiee Warriors. How's it going? So this is probably I wouldn't say first review, but this will be. It's been a while since I've done a review. As you guys can see on screen, I'm going to be talking about Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart, and I'll give you guys my final vote at the end of the video. So let's talk about it. Now, I haven't played a Ratchet and Clank game since I think it was Future Tools of Destruction. That was my last one. I know there's been, excuse me, other Ratchet and Clank games that have that came out. Like I think it was like One for All or something like that. I wasn't really captivated by getting to those games that came out. And then when the Ratchet and Clank game from the movie came out, I was already hesitant because I don't go for movie-based video games. The last movie-based video game I ever played was Van Helsing, but that's going off topic. Um, so when I heard about the game, I did have some reservations, but um, after I wouldn't say I read anything, but I heard good things about it. So I decided to go ahead and pick it up because at that time I didn't have a lot of PS5 games. Um, Initially, when I played it, it started out very much like it did if you played the first games, where Ratchet and Clank, or Ratchet per se, was just standing around. I wouldn't say standing around. It was like sitting, watching, an episode of Captain Quark. How he was the great galactic hero. Um, Also very similar to kind of how I think Commando started up. Um, where Ratchet and Clank were the heroes and they're throwing a party. And this one, it was like Ratchet and Clank were getting thrown a party, but they're like, we haven't done anything in a while. We just want to watch Netflix, or their version of Netflix, right? Um, so the story itself really captivated me. It really brought back my sense of Ratchet and Clank, like something I've been really wanting to play for a long time. Um, the combat in the game is well. I don't want to talk about the combat just yet. I'm sorry. Um, Thoughts might be jumbled a little bit. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've done my review for a game. Um, so go back to the story. I liked how they were dealing not with like a supervillain, like not like a corporate villain, I should say, more where the guy was like, well, I'll just build us. We destroyed our planet. We'll just go from everyone else. Just take from everyone else's the best parts of it, and this will fuse it all together. Which to me was like an insane idea, but um, I think it was Drac, and he had the backing of Captain Quark because Quark was gonna get like um, was gonna get like deals and stuff like that for sponsorships and stuff like that. Where in the second one, we play a little bit more closer to the vest with a new supervillain, which I think was I can't remember the supervillain was in that one. I do know it had to do something with the thief. At first, we thought the thief was the bad guy, but it turns out it was not the thief. There was another villain at play, and she was trying to stop them. And then up your arsenal, we dealt with Dr. Nefarious. And Nefarious has been kind of like after the third game, he's been kind of like the figurehead for a lot of the video games, except for Deadlocks. He wasn't the supervillain in Deadlocks. So I thought it was really nice that they brought back Nefarious as the bad guy, because he as a villain, he's very comical in his bad guy antics. Um, and it was just refreshing to see. I thought that was a really really good design choice for him. Um, and I liked how they introduced the characters. Like there was no like character that was brought in and it's like, oh, I'm here. Like even Gary, explains that about his heritage and who he is, and I appreciate that. It also brought in the previous characters. I'm trying not to say anything that would be considered spoilers in this game. This review, sorry. Um, I like the fact that it took place in different dimensions. That we had essentially two protagonists that we had to play off of. I like the fact like when you took off the planet, some planets required a different hero, and it didn't get like it wasn't disconjointed. It was perfectly placed. I should say placed or seamless. That's what I was thinking. It's a seamless transition. I really appreciate that. We haven't had a female female Lombax. I wouldn't say protagonist, but a female Lombax in the series since going Commando. So it was really nice to see a female Lombax again. Combat is pretty much what you expect from Ratchet and Clank. As the combat, like using your guns, jumping around, dodging, just going crazy is pretty much kind of how Ratchet and Clank's been, in the immense adventures he's been in. I love the addition of the hover boots. I love the fact that the variety of weapons. I mean, this game's always had a lot of weapons. The one thing, like, it was funny. Like, I was expecting, the Rhino 8 to be, more rockets or something like that, but it was pretty much like a miniaturized Dimensionator, which I thought was actually kind of funny. Because like we're in this giant quest to get a Dimensionator to fix the dimensions, and yet we have a miniaturized one, and it's really hilarious. It's just pulling certain things. Like we had one of our giant beasts come down and help us. We had I think it was a box that fell on enemies. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, pretty funny. Going to away from the combat a little bit now. One of the things I also liked was the puzzles. I felt the puzzles were something was used, but it was brought to the player as a fresh iteration of that. It was fresh. I wanted to say it was done before, but it's also fresh. Say hello to Luna, guys. Always when I'm doing a recording. Like how they presented the puzzle of the clanks, like the possibilities of clanks, fixing the dimension or a small pocket of a dimension. I liked them because a few times it did stump me a little bit. It's like, what am I supposed to do here? I felt more like I think it's a perfect season for this. Meme. I felt a little bit like the Grinch. I only got stuck, only for a pinch. But I found the puzzles were really fun. Kept me wanting to figure them out. The missions were fun to play through, especially the side missions. Some of the side missions, some of the optional missions. One of them actually got me a little frustrated. Even on stream, you guys can see me get a little frustrated. As when I was playing on the dragon. It's technically a dragon. It looked like a pterodactyl, but it's technically a dragon. Is you have trying to collect all the fruits because you get a info bot at the very end of it. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, I'm like, do I land on these things? What? It turns out I had to unlock an ability, which I had to collect 45 fruits. So after I unlocked 45 fruits, it was much easier. But still, the controls for the dragon were a little wonky. I will point that out. Because I've crashed a couple of times because I'm like trying to turn it and it just goes right into a cliffside or something like, or gets stuck. That's something else I should point out is when you get stuck, and this is a brilliant program they put, or ability, I wouldn't say program, but something brilliant they put into the game. You don't see this in too many games, and I wish that gaming developers would take notes of this. Is when you got stuck, like there's no possible way you get stuck, it would kill you. Or not kill you per se. It would be like a restart, and that's something I think would solve a lot of gaming issues on certain video games. Like for instance, Skyrim. If you're essentially falling through the map, well, chances are you hope you had a set you saved before you did whatever you were doing. So I hope that maybe other game developers will see this mechanic and actually endorse it into their other video games, because you can't imagine how frustrating it is. Like, you don't even tend to get stuck, and you get stuck, and there's no way you can get unstuck, and then you have to hope that you have a checkpoint or have a save file that doesn't set you back like 2 hours. So I really like the fact that they did that for the game. And the checkpoint systems were pretty fair. Like, I know I died, or my PS5 pretty much quits the game after a point. It put me back relatively at the same spot, but you do have to land, like, I would say you have to travel to the planet to get a checkpoint. So that's nice, or you have to find something. Especially speaking of that, there's plenty of stuff that you can collect. You can collect the bolts, the golden bolts, which gives you skins for your wrench or hammer. That's another cool thing. I know I'm jumping all over the place right here. Is instead of giving Rivet a wrench, they gave her a hammer, which like how Ratchet would have to go on a screw, and he had go around on it like a wheel, he had to turn it to solve the puzzle or bring out a bridge. She pretty much slams her hammer down and she uses it like a lever. So it was a very nice change. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change what I was saying. But I think I pretty much already hammered out that point. These cats are going crazy. As far as like bugs go, there really isn't much bugs and glitches that I really noticed. It was more like when I got stuck, it was more because I was trying to do something you're not really supposed to be trying to do in the game. But I didn't really. It played very smoothly. There was no bugs, no glitches, no crashes. It didn't feel like it was trying to the screen wasn't trying to chug. It relatively played smoothly, and the graphics were absolutely beautiful. It was a beautiful world to play in. I definitely like how they were able to keep the cartoony feel, but also keep it to the modern standards of graphics. Which I think at this point, when we have technology like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, that people are going to be expecting them to fully endorse, fully use the power of these consoles. So I don't know if this fully uses it, but I definitely want to say it took advantage of the graphics. And the game ran absolutely smooth. A lot of the enemies, as well, I should mention, a lot of the enemies you're going to run into are going to be very reminiscent of probably the previous games, except for the crocodile kind of enemies and characters. I don't remember them being around. There being too many of those, at least in that style. So I like to think that those were a new addition to the series. I do remember Thugs for Less, and I think that's what these guys were, like a version of Thugs for Less. And the Emperor's forces, we already defeated those guys technically in our dimension. And cracked in time. Now let's get on to some of the mainly two things I have a gripe. It's really one of them is really minor. The other one, it's made a little bit major. One, I didn't like the ships, to be honest. It's a minor gripe. It's more like maybe a personal taste, but I kind of like the ships and the creativity that they put into making the ships on the other video games. And I wish they would have incorporated that, but maybe because they chose to do a simplistic ship, it's because you're dealing with two heroes, and versus having two different ships for each hero, they have one generic ship that they're both using. In which case, I do understand. The other gripe I have is difficulty. Now, granted, I played this on easy, but I've played Ratchet and Clank on easy, and I've had a hard time even on easy sometimes. Certain bosses, certain challenges, even like the arena was a challenge in itself. The first time I ever went into the arena, I think it was in Up Your Arsenal. I can't remember if there was Up Your Arena in the first game. I think it was in the second game, but I'm not sure if it was in the first game. But every time I went into the arena, it was like the first couple challenges were easy. Then they got significantly harder as you played the arena. Like changing the weapons added a lot of challenge, but as you saw, I wasn't struggling at all when they did the swap. The only one was the fungi, which I killed one enemy every. I had to shoot two fungi at the thing, and it took for a while to bring it down. But that should be like a moment of tense, like, oh. When I got in the toxic section, I barely lost health. It seemed like the only thing that really did damage to me was when I was on the fire planet and I got hit by one of the lava spouting. That was the only thing that brought my health down. So I think easy mode they made too easy. They gave too many handicaps for on easy mode, and they shouldn't have done that. I understand like they're trying to make the game appealing and playable for everyone, but that's a little bit too easy. If you buy this game or get the game, I recommend skipping easy altogether and going straight to normal. Because like I said, no, I know I got hit. And I was wondering if it was the easy mode or the armor. The armor wasn't protecting me. It gives you some stats, but like grabbing or bolts or stuff like that, but it doesn't give you invincibility from enemies. So that I have to contribute to the easy mode, and I don't approve of that. I think they made a bit of a mistake because I've played the games on easy, and they always gave me a bit of a challenge even on easy. So I think they scaled easy mode a little too easy. They should have at least allowed me to take damage. It should have been the boss fights should have been a lot harder. I'm pretty sure they were hard, but they should have been able to do more damage to me. It felt like I was Master Chief against everybody. So that's another gripe. It's not going to take down my initial score. I think I gave it a 10 on stream. It won't take down my score too much. As far as characters go, I think I touched a little bit on that, but every character that I was brought in, it was funny. Each character had their own personality, their own way of talking. I love the introduction to the newer characters that were brought in, like Glitch. Like even the characters in the parallel dimension of the other cells, like Quark was more stoic, wasn't a moron in a way. In our dimension, he was a moron, and made mistakes. But he had a good heart, but he just didn't always listen to it. He let his fame get to his head, and it seemed like this Quark didn't have that issue. Whereas he was fiercely on in duty, like he had to stay undercover, help out the resistance and stuff like that. Skid, oddly enough, stayed the same. Like he was kind of a surfer guy in the other dimension. He was kind of like that in the parallel dimension, so he pretty much stayed the same. I don't think we really ran into too many of the other resistance. I think that was probably just put too elongated the game, and but I really did appreciate all the characters and how they were brought in. It brought a lot of humor and life to the game. Music was really well placed. Pretty much Ratchet and Clank tunes. There was one tune though, kind of made me feel like I was in Jeopardy. Not that it was like bad, but just that's what the song reminded me of. It was me playing, me watching an episode of Jeopardy. So yeah, I think that's about covers the review. So I think at this point, I'm going to give my final verdict. With everything considered, I can't give it a perfect 10. Even though I thoroughly enjoyed it, I can't simply just give it a perfect 10 because of the difficulty. I have to knock some points off. To be fair, but I won't drop it down to like an 8 or 7 or something like that. I think it definitely deserves a 9 out of 10. But what kept it from being a perfect 10 was that difficulty mistake. It just felt way too easy. Like I can guarantee you, people can speed run that, and well, I'm pretty sure there's probably already people speed running it, but it just feels like you're just overpowered. Like you don't have there's no risk factor there. Like, oh, miniature boss enemy hits you. Okay, just keep firing again. See, that's why I have to knock it down just 1 point for my initial impressions score, because of that. If I was taking damage even on easy mode, I probably would have given the game a 10 out of 10. But I do have to knock it points to be fair because of that. Does it mean that it's a terrible game because of it? No, I absolutely love the game. I wish I could just give it a perfect 10 out of 10, but I can't. But the game definitely runs perfectly, really good. I would say perfect. There's, as I said before, no glitches, no drops, no nothing. It runs 100% smooth, doesn't crash. Really shows off the graphics of the PS5. And I'm sure there's going to be more other games that are going to be that's going to blow our minds with the graphics, but this is a really good iteration of it. So yeah, would I recommend that you guys picking this up? Yes, I would. If you guys are into cartoony, funny game with relatively easy, fun combat, then I would say, yeah, definitely pick up Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It would be a perfect addition to your PS5. Yeah, I think that's about all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for watching this review. If you guys liked my review, go ahead and give this video a like. If you didn't, that's okay too. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you guys want you guys want to see more content, I stream pretty regularly, and I try to come out, try to get out contact to you, out content out to you guys on a regular basis. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Did you guys enjoy the game? Did you guys hate the game? Did you guys have a least favorite part? Did you guys have a good part? Did you have a favorite character that was shown throughout the video game? Yeah, let me know. I love to hear from you guys. Hope you guys are all having a Wookiee-tastic day, and I'll see you all on our next adventure. Till next time, see ya.